Today, we are going to talk on the thing that is affecting everyone today. And what is it? Fear. Okay. Now, when you are faced with fear, what is the normal reaction of people? Okay, let us talk about it. Okay. What some people do is they try to run away, right? So let us make it very interactive, because fear is something that has to be understood. Okay. Something like, we all know what is the capability of fire. Okay. You know, if you touch fire, your hand can get badly burnt and you can even die if you come very close to fire. But do you fear fire? Do you fear fire? No, right? Why? Because you have understood the nature of fire. So when you understand the nature of something, there is no fear. I remember when I was a child, and in the aircraft, I used to be very happy. So my father used to tell me, ignorance is bliss. Today you are happy because you are ignorant. So what happens is that when I was small, I used to be very, happy. And my father used to say, because you are ignorant, you are happy. Then we grew up, I started fearing flights, right? Now, when I started fearing flight, then there was a time when I understood that what all we can do if the flight is not going very normally. When I understood what all is the nature of the flight, my fear went off. So fear goes when you understand the nature of things. Today, people have fear because they are not understanding life. Today, there is not a single person who doesn't have fear, yes or no. And why there is fear? Because, we don't know what probably can happen, right? We don't understand what is happening and we fear the unknown. So, when there is fear, what are the reactions of people, right? First, some people try to run away. They don't want to face it. They say, I'm not reading anything. I'm not talking to anyone. I'm just running away. Second type of people, what they do is they keep on complaining, right? They keep on complaining about the government, about what people are doing, how they are not following precautions, because it is their way to ward off fear. That let me throw it away from me. So the way is to complain. The people who are very aggressive, who are very angry, it is because they want to ward off fear by their aggression. The third type of people are, they are doing everything that is possible to handle the situation. So they are eating medicines, they are eating all the herbs, they are building their immunity. But still those people have fear, because you cannot possibly do everything. You cannot possibly be 100% safe, right? So these three types of people. One is people who are ignoring it, people who are trying to push it away, and people who are trying to stay safe. They are not going out, they are not facing things. They are just eating medicines and trying to build their immunity, right? Still, those people have fear, right? So, what is the right way to look at things so that there is no fear? First, understand fear is just a definition. It's not a truth. Your nature is not to have fear. Fear is just an emotion. It is an emotion. Now understand, does fear actually help you? Think about it. Can we actually live our life without fear? I want your answer. I want your answer that is it possible to live a life with 100% fearless awakening? Is it possible? I want to know. Is it possible that we have zero fear in our life and we are able to live? Shivani says no, no, no. Okay. Okay. No, we cannot, right? So you are trying to say that we do need some type of fear in our life, right? Okay. I would like to say that we are supposed to live our life with zero fear. Zero, zero. And it is possible. It is possible. When we understand the nature of life, we can live our life with zero fear. And that is why, Mother Divine, Goddess Durga, is shown sitting on a lion. Right? She is shown sitting on a lion. And lion is a creature who doesn't have a single DNA of fear. And she rides the lion. So what I would like to say, fear is never a motivation. Okay, in fear, when you run, you cannot run with intelligence. You will just run for survival. Okay, people do run for fear. Nowadays, children are running, they are studying because they are fearful of failing. So in school days, we have fear because we have a fear of failing, so we study. In relationships, we behave nicely because we have a fear of losing favor. In our job, we work hard because we have a fear of not getting promotion or losing stability. So in our life, we are running by fear. But do you think it is a happy state to be in? Do we really want fear in our life? If you ask your heart, do you actually want fear in your life or you don't want fear? And if you don't want fear, understand it is not your natural state. You can live a life with zero fear. It is possible. It is possible. That is why, enlightened people are shown with the sun at the back, or they are shown to be representative of lions. Half man, half lion. So, it is not a motivation, but you can say that because of fear, we avoid doing certain things. But yes, as you said, it is a motivation, but it is not a positive motivation. Because I remember when my son was in his IIT, he was studying for IIT exam, he told me that, Mama, I don't want to get good marks because if I get good marks in my test exams, I will have no motivation to study for the finals. He said, I will become very complacent if I get good marks. I had to train him and counsel him to remove that sort of thinking. And I told him that, tell me something, if you don't have fear, will you still not study for it? Ask yourself, are you doing everything just because there is a fear? What about doing something for joy? Are you loving your child because of fear? Are you loving your partner because of fear? Are you working totally because of fear? Are you doing all the different things in life that has to be done only because of fear? Ask yourself, is it true? You're doing everything because of fear? Is it possible we do things with zero fear? We can have a friend and we enjoy with the friend just in a fearless state. We can do our job in a fearless state. We can do things in a fearless state. Today, if you are cooking for your family, is it out of fear? Is it out of fear or is it out of duty? Can you do things just because it is your dharma or your duty and not just because there is a fear? Because what actually fear does, okay, it makes us so nervous, it makes us so anxious. It makes us so emotional, right? What fear does is fear closes your heart. Fear does not allow the positive emotions to enter your life. You know what is the opposite of fear? Tell me, what is the opposite of fear? The opposite of fear is love. Opposite of fear is not brave, it is love. When there is love, there is no fear. And God is love. He is just love. Okay. Shalini is telling opposite of fear is a lot of things are there. Happy, fearlessness, liveliness, faith, freedom. Beautiful. Whatever you wrote are the forms of love. Ultimately, we have come in this world to become totally fearless. And now ask yourself why you have fear. Why? You have fear because you fear the consequence of what can possibly happen. What if I get some harm to myself or my family? What if there is a physical harm? There is a financial harm? There is a loss of expectations, right? There is a separation, there is a destruction, there is a doom, there is a betrayal, right? So we have fear because of the imaginary consequences we are giving to it, right? What possibly can happen. But understand one thing, that when we are actually in the situation, there is actually no fear. When we are actually in the situation, we could have difficulty, we could have suffering, we could have pain, but there will be no fear. So fear is just an imagination of the mind about what possibly could happen. Even if today you are sick of COVID, right? You are coughing, you have fever, you have body pain, right? You will actually not have fear. You will have pain, you will be on the bed. But the fear would be what possibly can happen. So fear is just an imagination. It is not something which is of the present, it is something which is of the future, and future does not exist because you are a consciousness in the present. So fear is an imagination of the monkey mind. Okay? Now, fear happens, as I said, fear happens because we don't understand. We don't understand the nature of life. Now, let us now discuss where is fear originating in your body. Let's talk about it. Where does fear originate in your body? Is it here, here? Which chakra do you think is associated with fear? Tell me. Because from there we will come to know how to handle it. Okay? So which chakra the fear originates? Okay? In order to give you a hint, when you used to be in your school, many times you used to have this feeling just before the exams. You used to have this feeling of fear. Okay? Shivani says that I feel the fear in my brain or in my heart. Okay? Root chakra, Kevin is telling we fear in the root chakra. Okay? Rajiv is telling root chakra is associated with fear. Okay? Okay. I would like to say the fear starts in the Manipur or the stomach chakra. Okay? That's why in school you used to feel those butterfly feelings in your stomach. Right? Those anxious feelings, those butterfly feelings you feel in your stomach. So fear, yes, it is in the Manipur chakra. Okay? In the Manipur chakra, And what is the role of the Manipur chakra? It is the machine in your body that processes. Okay? It is something that attacks the food with the juices. And the Manipur chakra is the chakra in your body that processes everything that happens. When you cannot process something, there is fear. Just like I said, you are not fearful of fire because you know how to process fire. You know that when there is fire, I should keep a distance. I can hold a candlelight, but I should keep a distance. If I'm wearing a dress which can catch fire, I should hold it afar. When you're not fearful, you can hold it. So when you think you cannot process, you have fear. That we came to know Manipur chakra. Okay. Now Manipur chakra is also called Chitta. Some people call it Chitta, but it is Chitta. Okay. Now Chitta is the Hindi word for consciousness. Chetana. Chetana is the Sanskrit word. So your Manipur chakra is your consciousness. What is your consciousness? Your full knowingness. Your full knowingness is your Manipur chakra. Whatever you know about the world and yourself is your Manipur chakra. Okay, today you know about yourself, your family, your knowledge, your learnings, your experiences. All that is your Manipur chakra. But if there is something in your consciousness which you cannot process, which you cannot handle, you're fearful about. Okay, and what you cannot process and cannot handle is what you don't understand. If you don't understand, you cannot process, you cannot handle. Okay. Second, what are you fearful about? Are you fearful about something happening in a far off country? Till COVID was there in China, we were not afraid. Then we started hearing that it has started coming out of China. Still, we were not afraid. Then we started hearing it is happening in our country. Then we started becoming a little careful. Then it started coming in our city. And then it started coming in the nearby buildings. And then the panic started. That what if it happens to me finally, or my loved one finally? So fear happens because you are attached to something. It doesn't happen if you're not getting affected by it, right? So we have established the second fact. First is fear happens because you think you cannot process it, because you don't understand it. And second, fear happens because you are attached, right? Everyone agrees to this? Okay. So, first thing, what it is trying to give you a hint is that all masters have come and told us attachment is the root cause of suffering. If you are attached to anything, you're bound to suffer. You're attached, first we are attached to our family. We are attached to our physical self. We are attached to our material things around us. We are attached to our job, right? We are attached to our desires. So we are attached to our environment around us, right? And that is the root cause of suffering. So you will say, that is okay, but how can I remove the attachment? Right? So you have to understand, see, ultimately, everything that is happening in your life is happening because you have to realize your true self. It is only spirituality which will help you become the Durga who is sitting on a lion. Only spirituality, nothing else. So first we have to understand the true nature of life is detachment. Whatever is happening around you is happening so that you connect to your true state. And what is your true state? Detached. You'll say, how can I be detached from my children? I have to do so much for them. I say, why don't you realize it is your role play and it is your nature to love? Why attachment has to come there? Why can't you love without being attached? Attached means what? You're controlling, right? You're expecting. You're feeling responsible for them. You're feeling dependent on them. It's a relationship of codependency. Attachment never brings happiness. It is the cause of suffering. Whatever you are attached to will bring you pleasure, but it will come with lot of pain. You're attached to your family, it will bring you lot of suffering, but happiness also. So we have to understand whatever we are attached to, that is the reason of our fear. So you will say, how can I come out of this attachment? Just realize the true nature of life, meditate on it, and detach. You were born alone, you will die alone. Everything of yours is happening to realize your true self. You will love your family the same way, but by being detached. You will perform, in fact, better in your company if you are detached. If you don't have a fear of losing something, how much you will enjoy that? That's why you really enjoy with your friends, because you're not attached. So, but in order to come out of attachment, we have to first come out of dependency. Till you feel you need something from someone, you cannot be detached. So first realize there is nothing I need from someone and there is nothing I need to give to someone. Everything in life is a partnership. We are doing our role play. A mother is doing the role play of a mother, a child is doing the role play of a child, and both of them are realizing themselves. Why attachment? Why there is so much of dependency to get something from someone? Why not to become self-sufficient? Why do you need love from someone? Why do you need acknowledgement from someone? Why do you need favor from someone? Why can't you become independent? Like, Manipur chakra is the seat of the sun, right? And we learn all the lessons from the sun. How sun comes every day in the morning. It does its dharma, its duty, right? It comes, it gives the very nurturing sunlight, right? It nurtures the whole world. It is so much full of love, grace, leadership, compassion, right? So that is the way we are supposed to live. The sun has got the gravitational field, right? All the planets are circling around the sun. Whatever it is giving to the world is its power. All the planets are circling around, and how joyfully the sun is giving its light. So the first thing is we have to practice detachment. You have to realize that once you are detached, you will play your role play completely. You will be a better father, a better mother, a better employee, a better boss if you are detached. Because if you are attached, there is so much of expectation, so much of control. You cannot take the right decision. You cannot see the things properly. There are so many emotions. If you are attached, you cannot even correct an unruly child. You cannot communicate to anyone if you are attached. You cannot confront someone. You cannot defend yourself. You cannot stand up for what is right, right? Because you are attached. Okay. So, firstly, what we have to meditate on is detachment. And it is not difficult to understand. Okay, it's not difficult to be detached. Just meditate and look at your attachments, and you keep on looking till you see them breaking. they will break, and they will only break. First, dependency will break. Once dependency breaks, responsibility will break. Then you can detach. Okay? So, second, as we said, that till we don't understand the nature of life, we cannot process. And when we cannot process, there is fear. So let us try to understand the nature of life. So now let us understand the nature of life, because the day we understand that fire is not come to destroy us, we can use the fire for our benefit. We will start loving the fire. Today, suppose after a few days, a news comes that COVID actually is very good for your body. Those people who have COVID, they are going to become super strong. What will happen? Your fear will disappear. But today what happens, everyone is telling it's bad, you can do this, it can be long-term harm. So you're fearful. So let us first understand the nature of life, because nothing happens which is not the nature of life. Okay, so we can first understand life and then we can know how to process it. So let us understand the nature of life from the 7 chakras. Okay, now Gita is telling, but ma'am, dependency, attachment towards our parents can't be detached. Of course can be detached, of course. We are attached to our body and ultimately we have to be detached. We have to be detached. We have to take it like a vehicle for the soul. Because everything we have to be detached. You have to be detached from your body because you are not the body. When you were small, your body was so small. Now it is so big. Why are you attached to something that is changing? Do you think you are the body? You existed even before you were born, and you will exist even after you die. Do you think you are the mind, your thoughts, your opinions? Sorry, they can change even after this session. No one is his opinions, is his thoughts, because those things keep on changing. You're very upset at someone because he behaves in a certain way. Sorry, he can change after one day. So understand one thing, that today you are associating people with their mind, with their opinions, with their qualification, with their senses, with their behavior. Everything can change. You're associating them with the body that is changing. Everything is changing, and what is changing? You are not that. You are the eternal soul which always existed. Even when you were baby, you were big, you were teenager, adult, old age, you exist. You are not growing, you are just there. But yes, you are being realized, more aware, more conscious. Your chitta is expanding to more awareness. But you are the same. Your awareness is expanding, but you are the same. So Gita is telling, losing them is the greatest fear. See Gita, as we said, attachment is the cause of suffering. Right? So what you need to do is, you have to just look at that fear, feel it, cry over it, and let it go. Being fearful is not going to help you. In fact, rejoice that they are there in your life today. Why can't we be happy with that? Why can't we be grateful that they are still there, happy and healthy? So we always have a choice to look at light or to look at dark. We can look at things from a perspective which will make us peaceful, and that perspective is your true self. Anything with which you react, with which you change, is not your true self. Fear makes you go out You have to use your mind for fear. It is not your true self. But when you think of love, when you are in the present, it's your true self. And your true self is fearless. Ultimately, you have to be fearless. Ultimately, you have to be non-reactive. Ultimately, you have to be in your chitta all the time, in your awareness. Today, when you say, I cannot process, you come out of your chitta. But when you say, everything I can handle, you stay in your chitta. And today, to be fearless, you have to be connected to your chitta all the time, 24/7. And that can happen when you understand the nature of life. Nature of life is not to run away from the problem. It is not to ignore the problem. It is not to really, be so much, so much fearful of protecting and defending yourself. Right? The nature of life is to connect with the problem, is to process the problem into small pieces, is to understand the problem, is to transform what can be transformed, is to learn from the problem, and is to let go of what doesn't serve you. That's the nature of life. The nature of life is like light. When light comes to darkness, light does not run away. Light does not just stay quietly and let the darkness be there. Light will come, it will envelop it with love and not fight with it. It will envelop it. It will transform how much is possible, because there can be some pieces we don't want to become light. Okay, there can be some solid pieces which are very opaque and they don't want to let light go inside them. So light will transform what is possible, make the thing like itself. And that's your true nature. It's transformation. I always tell, God is not light, God is not dark. He is the truth that converts the dark into light. When light does this process, it is God. God is in the chitta, the truth of transformation, the eternal truth that never changes. Today you will be fearless when you don't react to anything. When you are just calm in every situation. When you are calm, your intelligence functions. Today, when you are not calm, your emotions, they disturb you. Your mind runs from one thought process to another. What if this happens? What if this happens? Oh, if this happens, this I will do. If this happens, this I will do. Then you become fearful. You are fearful because your chitta or your consciousness has many ripples, many waves. And your mind is jumping from one wave to another. And what are these waves? These are waves of thought process, of pleasure or pain. And your mind is jumping to them, trying to find a solution. But we have to know, solution never comes from the waves. Solution comes when you calm down the ripples and you see beneath the waves. It's your true self. So you can say, if you want a simple word, that fear goes only when intelligence functions. Fear is just opposite of intelligence. Once you are connected to your intelligence, you will never have fear. Okay. Okay, Rakesh is asking how to untangle the problems which have caught us with fear. Okay. For this, I suggest that you have to meditate and introspect. Whenever you are faced with any problem, okay, it could be problem in your professional life, problem in your personal life, okay. First thing, remove the emotions around it. Because when there are emotions, you cannot see the problem. So how much ever that situation is painful, in a relationship, someone is betraying you, someone is doing something behind your back, and you are deeply hurt, okay? Or in your career, there is a chance that you will not be promoted, or there is a chance of you losing your career, your job. First thing, remove the emotions. You will say, how? Meditate. Just meditate. You will say, how meditation can remove the emotion? Of course, just look at the emotions. Look at it. If you are able to look at that situation for 27 to 42 minutes, the emotion will disappear. It will just disappear. Because emotion doesn't have the capacity to stay on longer than that. It doesn't have the capacity. Normally what happens is, whenever you are fearful, you have a tendency to go and talk to someone and multiply. No, don't do that. Just sit, feel it for 27 minutes. Feel the fear. Feel it for 27 minutes. How much you are fearful, how much you are hurt, how much you are pained. Just feel it. Right? Once you have felt, and once the emotions are gone, then see the situation. See it. You will find a solution. So this is the simple answer, that how you can untangle yourself. Okay. So let us understand the nature of life. Okay. Do you think life wants to destroy us, or life wants to nurture us? In order to get the answer, see your body. You get one scratch. What does your body do? It tries to heal. You gave the scratch, it is trying to heal. That is the nature of life. Every time you are putting all sorts of rubbish inside your body, your stomach is trying to still chew, digest, and give you the energy. Whatever you put inside your body, your stomach does its best to digest it and nurture you and nourish you. So first, please see your body, that how your body is trying so much, right, to survive, to keep you alive, right? First, trust your body. Trust that from childhood till today, my body loves me, I love my body, and it is trying so hard to be healthy, right? Continuous, it is taking in air, it is absorbing the oxygen, it is giving the blood to my cells, it is throwing out the carbon dioxide. Every cell of my body is getting nurtured with oxygen. My blood is getting purified. I pass urine. Everything of my body, I'm getting purified. Whatever I eat is nurturing me. My cells are regenerating. Everything of your body is just working to survive. Trust your body. Second, you see your mind. Continuous, you are learning something. Learning. Life is trying to give you new challenges to learn. Whenever you know something about the subject, you get bored because you want to learn more. You never say, I have learned enough, I don't want to learn anymore. If you're very successful in your career also, you never say, I'm so satisfied. You still want to do more. Every time you want to learn. And not only in your career, you want to be a better mother, a better daughter, a better wife, a better spouse. You continuously want to learn. What is that energy that wants to continuously send you new challenges so that you learn all the time? Whatever problem you had at one time, it never comes back to you because you've learned about it. People who are hardworking, they never get challenges related to hard work. People who are honest, they never get challenges related to honesty. People who are sincere, they never get challenges related to sincerity. So every time, who is that? What is that energy that is conniving all the time to nurture you in all aspects? Physically, you are growing. Your cells are repairing. You're growing. Mentally, you are learning new things. Your identity is growing all the time. Your senses are growing. You are experiencing new things all the time. If you have eaten some type of chocolates or something, automatically you will get bored and you want to try new chocolates. You have eaten some kind of cuisine, you're bored because you want to try a new type of cuisine. You have visited few countries, now you want to visit different countries. What is that energy that tells you, I want to have more? You are more. Continuously, you want to have new things. So you have to first trust the nature of life is to make you survive and make you thrive. Life never destroys. But what happens is that in life, in order to understand the nature of life, which is called by one word, which is truth, Satya, Satyam, we have to go through light and dark. The light and dark have to fight, right? And when they fight, who is going to win? The light, the good qualities. And when they win, through them, the truth is realized. So God is the truth between the light and the dark. He is the transformation. So today in this COVID time, there is darkness and there is even light. But what happens is darkness captures attention very fast. So what happens? Everyone is talking about how many are dying, what is the shortage, and they are just talking about fear. And everyone is gripped in this fear. But how many are talking about the big population, 97 or 98% who are recovering? How many are talking? No one. Everyone is talking about the people who did not make it. Because that is the nature of darkness. It shouts, it shrieks, it creates terror, it creates fear. No one is seeing this. The 97, 98, 99% of people who are coming out. No one is seeing the good things that are coming. How much humanity is even increasing. How much people are coming out to help other people. That is not coming in highlight. What is coming in highlight is what is not there. Right? We are not seeing what is done. We are seeing what is not being done. We are not seeing how many people fought it, how many people recovered, how many people are healthy, how many people it hardly touched, how many people it just didn't affect. It just came and it brushed past. We are not talking about it. We are talking about this. Right? Because fear has got, the tendency to attract. Now it is a war. The good people have to come together and they have to support the light. You have to make this strong so that you can envelop this darkness, so that the truth can emerge. Ultimately, it is a situation. Don't see it's bad or good. It is a situation. It is a situation. It is not a bad situation. It is not a good situation. It is not fearful. It is not negative. It is not positive either. It is a situation that happened. That is happening. Just like if you see our ancient scriptures, there was a war, Mahabharat, it happened. Some died, some lived. But ultimately what will come out is truth. And what is truth? God. And what is God? Dharma. And what is dharma? Preservation, growth, creativity, life. What you want in the deepest of your heart is God. Whatever you want, whatever you know in the deepest of your heart is God. The truth will come out from this situation. Truth. The good qualities, the human values have to come out. So, as we said, that light will always have a war between darkness and light. Okay? Now, when you align to darkness, you will have fear, anxiety, confusions, lack of clarity. You will have all this. Just jump, no? Come here. Come here. Who is stopping you from coming here? Jump. It is a jump you have to take from being afraid, what possibly can happen. It's okay, no? Just detach and jump and come here. By knowing that what is the nature of life? Preservation. It is thriving. It is growing. In the root chakra, we learn lessons that we are supported. We have to fight our challenges. We fight. Our body will fight. If we get the disease, we will fight. Simple. But you cannot fight now. You'll fight when you get it. Why to be fearful? Then in the Swadhisthana chakra, you learn the lessons that you have to defend and protect yourself, and life is protecting you. It is protecting you. You cannot allow anyone to take advantage of you. Life is nurturing you. There are the lessons. In the Manipur chakra, it tells you, you are powerful. Your power doesn't come from outside. It doesn't come because of dependencies and responsibilities. Your power is self-generated. So, in order to be powerful, you have to totally connect to yourself. You have to be totally internalized in your consciousness. You have to be totally calm. Being fearless is being calm. Let me tell you spiritually what is the meaning of being fearless. Okay. Now, in Hindu religion, can you tell me the name of the god who is associated with fearlessness? Who will tell me? I will explain to you from his side. Okay, which is the god who is associated with fearlessness? Whenever we are fearful of ghosts and spirits, we remember that god. Who is that? Who will tell me? Let me see. God I'm talking. See, Shiva is not associated with fearlessness. Shiva is associated with detachment. Okay? Because Shiva means detachment. That's why they show him in cremation grounds. Every god has got a function. If you see Shiva, because his name has come, so I'll tell you. If you see Shiva, you know, he has got the Ganges falling, purification. He has got the snake here, right? It is overcoming the poisons of this world, right? But mostly if you associate Shiva, he has got the bhasma, the ash from the crematorium, detachment. That once you are totally detached, you will meet him. And that's the nature of your soul. So the God who is associated with fearlessness is his avatar, Lord Hanuman. Hanuman is called the avatar of Shiva, incarnation of Shiva. Now, let us look at Shiva. Okay, Hema has said Krishna. Krishna is not associated with fearlessness. He is associated with joy. He is associated with lot of fun, lot of beauty. He is the nature of life. So, if you see a rose flower, the fact that it is a rose flower is Shiva, but the looks of the flower, the fragrance of the flower is Krishna. right? And the fearlessness of the flower that it blooms in full glory is Hanuman. Okay, because you are fearless, you are fully, displaying your identity without any fear. So now let us talk about Hanuman, and you will realize one very big thing. Hanuman, look at Hanuman, because we always pray to him whenever we have fear. Okay, they say Nase Rog Hare Sab Pira, Jape Nirantar Hanumat Bira. Right? So he is the one who destroys all the illnesses, right? And Bhoot Pishach Nikat Nahi Aave, Mahavir Jo Naam Sunave. No ghosts and devils come to you, whoever talks about Hanuman. So when you remember Hanuman, all these spirits run away. So now let us look at Hanuman. Look at his form. He is a monkey. And what type of monkey? Who has surrendered. He is a surrendered monkey, folding his hands, kneeling down. Now, who will tell me what is the main characteristic of a monkey? Because that is your true nature. Who will tell me what is the difference between monkey and another animal, and what is that characteristic which keeps him totally apart from other animals? Yes. What does a monkey do? Because universe is very kind. It tells us everything about life in very nice stories, right? Copycat, wonderful, wonderful. So Hema has got the right thing. Monkey is a copycat. You can say monkey is a photocopy. Your true nature is you're a photocopy of God who has surrendered. So today you will become fearless when you become his photocopy who has surrendered. You will emulate him with surrender. Today, if you are saying that you have anxiety, why? Because the monkeys in your consciousness are jumping. When there is fear, they jump with fear. When there is excitement, they jump with excitement. So the person who is anxious, his monkeys are totally untamed. And monkeys in our physical system, monkeys are nerves of the system, nerves of your body. So when there is fear, you become nervous. Your nerves become active. So in your consciousness or your chitta, the monkeys are jumping. They are jumping for memories of pleasure or memories of pain. It is like whenever you face a fear, someone tells you, oh, COVID. The monkeys, they start jumping. What will happen? What will happen? What if I get it? Oh, what if he gets it? So those monkeys are jumping, and that is called anxiety. So what you need to do is you have to recognize the character of the monkey inside you, which copies the fear. If someone has said it is a fear, so you think it is a fear. But there is nothing called fear. What is fear? When you were never born, how can you die? And no one can guarantee that nothing will happen to you. So you have to understand the nature of life in order to calm down the monkeys. You know what the monkeys do? Whatever you have called fearful before, they call it fearful today. So suppose you were bitten by a dog, they create fear even today with dogs. Suppose you were cheated sometime, they create fear even today of cheating. So monkeys never allow you to learn because they try to copy the fear. How you have to do is, whatever you are fearful about, just see, when did it happen before? What did I learn from it? And tell the monkey to shut up. And that is what counseling is all about. When a patient comes to a counselor for counseling, she asks him the same question. They will say, I'm very fearful, my relationships are terrible. So we will tell, okay, tell me about your childhood. How were your relations? Oh, they were terrible in childhood. So what is happening? You're copying the same thing. Today, most of your problems are because the monkeys are copying what happened before. They are telling you cannot handle. So what you have to do, you have to go back in the past and see what did I learn from there and call it that it is not a fear. So this monkey will not jump. Did you understand this part? Your monkeys will jump till you have something called pleasure or pain, the monkey will awaken. If there is no pleasure or pain, the monkey cannot do anything. If the monkey doesn't have a branch to jump on, where it will go? It will sit quietly. So you have to cut up all the branches. And that is called healing. So what we do in healing is, or you can say in meditation also, you have to go back to your past and see every definition of pain. Whatever you called suffering. Whether it was through relationships, through financial difficulties, through physical difficulties, you have to see the past. And what you have to do is you have to start cleansing the past. And cleansing can only happen when you meditate on it. Feel the emotions of that time and realize it was your interpretation that it was sad, unhappy, painful. It was a situation. Even the definition that you call something pain is a definition of the mind. There is something called physical pain, but there is nothing called emotional pain. And physical pain we always forget. You fell down so many times in your life. You must have had so many surgeries. You never think about it. But emotional pain we cannot forget because it is the monkey trying to repeat it. So what we have to do in meditation is we have to go back in the past, cleanse all the memories which are making the monkeys jump. And that is called true healing. And not only the memories of pain, even the memories of pleasure. Because many things that you lust for today, that you are running for today, whether you are running for sex, you are running for love, you are running for acknowledgement, you are running for money, you are running for success, is because you were deprived of it before. Or you thought it gave me happiness before. So it is the monkey jumping for it even today. You're not realizing that today I don't need it. You're not looking at it from reference of today. If you see today, many of the things of the past will follow. That I don't need it anymore. There was no money that time, but today I have enough money. So why am I still running for it? There was no love at that time, but today there is love. I have experienced love. I am running for it. I did not get enough success that time. I was considered a failure that time, but I have already experienced it. Why am I running for it today? So problem is you're not looking at things from the reference of today. So the monkeys are jumping. So the monkeys will stop when you see the present, when you see the things in the present moment. Right? So Rakesh is telling, I am a severe anxiety patient where fear is the root cause of the disease. How can I overcome it? See how you can overcome it, Rakesh. You have to meditate and look at what is causing you fear. Okay? When you meditate on the fear, you just feel the anxiety. You feel it till it dissolves. You will notice that everything that you are fearful of is just a definition, nothing else. Because there is actually nothing called fear. So fear is happening because one is you have defined that it is a fear, and second, you think you cannot process it. And why you think you cannot process is because you don't understand its true nature. You're not trusting life. When you trust life, you can process everything. You have to know, just like when you were in school, you used to get exam paper, right? To write the exam. Did you ever get a paper which was out of syllabus? No, right? Similarly, you will face only those challenges which you can handle, which are actually for your higher evolution. You will never get something out of syllabus. So knowing that whatever is happening with me, it is something meant for me and I have to connect with it. You have anxiety because the monkey doesn't allow you to connect. You have to connect with the problem. You have to face the problem. You have to embrace the problem. You have to connect with the problem. Because unless we connect, we look at it from far and we are anxious. We don't have to do that. You have to barge head on into the problem and face it. What will happen ultimately? What will happen? You think like this. What will happen? I will lose a relationship. I will lose a job. I will die. It's okay, no? Nothing to live also for. I think like this. Nothing great that we are living also. If we have to die, we'll die. What's the problem? So, today, when you understand the nature of life, you can come out of fear. Kevin is saying something. Okay. In a situation that is constantly repeating itself, how do you deal with this fear where you fear that it will happen again? Okay. I just talked about it, Kevin, but I will just repeat. Whenever you have a fear that the situation will happen again, remove the fear about the situation and then say, if it happens, I will handle it. You cannot stop anything from happening again, but you can stop yourself from being fearful about it. Okay? Jayant is asking, what if the fear is because of multiple failures in the past path of a self-chosen path? Does that mean the decision or choice was not meant for the self? See, what I feel is, if you have multiple failures in a path and you are continuously still on the path, it means that you are taking the failures too personally and you are not learning from them. Okay? But if your heart still says that I want to be on the path, then start learning from it. Because when we are emotional, we don't grow from a situation. It is something like if a student is in 7th grade and he's not able to go to the 8th grade. Why? Because he's not clearing the subjects. He is getting supplementary after supplementary. So it doesn't mean that he's not destined to go to the 8th. It means he's not clearing some paper. It is something you're not doing the right way. Or maybe you're controlling the outcome. Because most of the fear happens because you are trying to control the outcome. You have to do your job and leave the result to him. And what will happen, I will handle. I will handle what will happen. But I'm not going to control. Like some people say, I have done this, this should be the result. Then naturally fear will come. You cannot control the result. You can just do the karma. You can do what your intelligence tells you to do in the present. Rest, leave it to God. Okay? Rajiv is telling, throw some light on fear of being alone. Okay. Now, the question is, who is alone? What is alone? Okay. Today, there are people who have fear of being alone because they think that the reality is that we have to live with someone. Okay. So, when you think that the reality is that you have to live with someone. So firstly, understand that either you find a solution or you try to accept the current state. So one is, if you think you are alone, then try to find a partner, or second is remove the fear of being alone. Realize that ultimately our nature is to be alone. And who is alone after all? Even if you have a partner, ultimately we are still alone. So it is more in the mind and not a reality. Okay, Shalini, facing fear head on requires courage, and building courage is a process. Okay, how do you keep up that process? I feel that more and more, see, we cannot build courage, but we can dispel the fear. Whatever fear comes, face it, learn from it, and let it go. So, when you face the thing and you let it go, automatic courage builds up. And courage is nothing but knowledge. It is a combination of being calm and combination of applying your true knowledge. And that is courage. Okay, you are telling what is the kriya to meditate on the Manipur. Okay. Okay. See, to meditate on the Manipur, as I said, one is you look at your fear and you release the fear. Many times people like to do a mudra, right? You can fold your hands in namaste, right? And you place your right thumb over your left thumb. You open your hands like this and you place your hands over your navel. Okay, like a namaste, you place your hand over your belly button. You just sit like this. You will notice after say 10-12 minutes, you will feel very nice. Lot of your fear will dissolve. Because what happens is this makes like a pyramid on your body. Right? And when it makes like a pyramid, after some time, it energizes your system. And with this, if you want, you can chant the mantra Ram. So you can say Ram, 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 Ram. Or you can even say Ram, 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 Ram. Okay? Okay. What kind of mantra should be used to overcome fear, depression, anxiety? I think you can chant Hanuman Chalisa. You can pray to Lord Hanuman. And you can basically also do breath meditation. Okay. Now let us talk about the second thing. Okay. What element is fear? Out of the 5 elements of earth, water, fire, air, ether, which element is fear? What do you think that what is the medium which carries fear all over your body? Is it earth? Is it water? Is it air? Is it fire? Is it ether? What carries the fear all across your body? Like emotions are carried by water. Whenever you are emotional, you cry or you laugh, tears. Emotions are carried by water. Anger is carried by fire. Right? Whenever you're very angry or you're fearful, either you become hot or you become very cold. So emotions are carried by, or you can say action is also carried by fire. And fear is carried by air. Air is the medium through which fear travels in your body. Okay? And air goes through lungs and your heart. Today, this COVID has come basically to teach us lessons of fearlessness. And that is why it is affecting the organs of fear, which is lungs. So what happens is, when a person gets COVID, right? basically what happens is, if he becomes very fearful, right? So when he becomes very fearful, he really attacks the disease, thinking it's an enemy. But when you attack something, right, even that is not the right way to process any enemy. Now let's talk about it a little more, okay? Today, you see the function of the lungs, okay? When you take in air, right, it filters out the oxygen and it takes out the carbon dioxide, right? So for the lungs, the carbon dioxide is the enemy, right? It is negative for the body. So do you think the lungs attack the oxygen, or it just takes in and takes out? You have to understand, in reality, there is no enemy and there is no friend. Everything is a situation. If there is a virus, we have to deal with it. If there is a friend, we have to deal with it. It's a situation. Why are you taking, oh, virus, oh, friend? Why are you telling, I have to hug the friend and I have to kill the virus? It is a way to deal with the virus and way to deal with the friend. There is a way to deal with failure and a way to deal with success. It is like, if you see the story of Mahabharata, right? When Lord Ram, he killed Ravan, he did not kill him with hatred. He did not say, you Ravan, you took my wife and he killed him. Nothing like that. Right? He just took out his bow and arrow and with intelligence killed him. And even after Ravan was lying dead, he was dying, Ram sent his brother Lakshman that go and learn lessons from him. That learn lessons of how to be a good king. So even there was a respect at that time. Even if you see the story of Mahabharata, Bhishma Pitamaha, who was killed, everyone, they came, the other side also came to take respects, to offer respect. So we have to treat enemy the same way as we are treating a friend. Something like, suppose you are eating an apple, right? Now in the apple there are seeds, right? So how you just eat the fruit and you take the seed and why can't we deal with the virus like that? Why can't we just take it, process it and throw it? But what happens with us is we are so scared of COVID. So when you come to know, oh my God, my test is positive, you start reacting. And people are not dying from the virus, they are dying from the reaction. People are dying from pneumonia. They are becoming so hyperventilated, they are becoming so anxious that their lungs are not functioning. It is deep anxiety that is happening. Earlier when COVID was there was not so much of breathlessness problem. But now people get so nervous, they become so breathless. Why? Because they are trying to attack the enemy. Like that, they think it's an enemy. Why can't you deal with it like the way darkness deals with light? Darkness does not attack light with viciousness, with hatred, that you are doing something wrong to me. Why cannot light see that it is helping me expand? Because of darkness, I was only till here. Now I'm going to become bigger. Why can't I take it like my expansion? Why can't I take it with love? That it has come so that I end up it nicely and make it like me. So why can't we take COVID like just like another situation? That yes, the way we take in oxygen and we throw out carbon dioxide, we have got the system inside us to fight against virus and bacteria. We will take it in, our body immunity will work and it will kill the virus. It will happen automatically. But because there is so much of fear, right? And because of what we have heard, we become nervous. So what we have to do today, in this situation of COVID, my advice to everyone is, first is stay very calm, stay very grounded, and we have to take it like a normal problem and not discuss too much. Even if you develop the disease, it's okay, just be calm, have the medicines and deal with it. Don't become hyper. Don't discuss too much with people. Don't see how many are dying. Why can't we see how many are surviving? Okay? So we were discussing that what is the Pancha Tattva, what is the Tattva or element which carries fear? It is air. Right? Vayu. And who is the son of Vayu? Hanuman. Bhim. Right? So Hanuman was called Pavan Putra or Vayu Putra. And where is Vayu in your body? It is in the lungs and it is in the Anahat Chakra. Right? So I feel in order to come out of fear, you can even do pranayam, breathing exercises. So people who have anxiety, they can do breathing exercises. Right? Right. Kevin is telling Vata doshas, they tend to have more fear, anxiety. Yes. So basically managing your breath, doing pranayam, doing breath exercises will also help you calm yourself down. Right? Rakesh is asking, ma'am, what color or incense smell therapy can we finish fear and activate Manipur chakra? Okay. What I feel is Manipur chakra, the color is yellow, right? And planet is sun. So you can pray to the sun. You can chant Aditya Hridaya Srot. You can offer water to the sun every day. And I feel it is very useful. You can take a pot of water and in the morning you see the sun through the water and let it slowly go down by chanting Om Ghrani Suryaya Namah and see the water going down, and that is very helpful. And morning you can chant mantras of the sun. If you are asking about incense, etc., I'm not very sure, but something which is very citric because it is lemony, it is yellowish color. You can do that. You can wear Rudraksh, 3-mukhi, 12-mukhi, and you can wear the gemstone yellow citrine for this. Okay? So as you said, anything we should wear to increase courage? Yes. Basically, you can wear something for the Manipur chakra, and for the monkeys, you can wear something for the root chakra. Because the monkeys, they originate in the root chakra. So you can wear coral. Hanumanji is associated with the gemstone coral. And you can wear Rudraksh 14-mukhi. So 14-mukhi and coral will help you in the monkey part, and 12 and 3-mukhi will help you in the Manipur part. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank you for being with me. We'll meet again for another session. Shivoham.